Hello and welcome to the 2023 Online International Finals of the Microsoft Excel Collegiate Challenge. My name is David Brown and I'm an Associate Professor of Finance at the University of Arizona and the founder of the MECC. Congratulations to all of our finalists, the Excel Esports athletes and future All-Stars of the Microsoft Excel World Championship. They have been selected to represent their schools here at the highest level of collegiate Excel modeling. Today you will see a celebration of data analytics and Excel modeling as teams of students from around the world show off their keyboarding speed, Excel function knowledge, and modeling creativity. Good luck to all the competitors, and good luck to you, wherever you may be in your Excel journey. Enjoy the show and Excel on.
Alrighty. Welcome everybody who's watching online. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are around the world. Welcome to the Microsoft Excel Collegiate Challenge International Team Finals. It's my pleasure to host today. My name is Tim Hang and I'm joined here by Rainier Wessels. Welcome.
Thanks, Tim. Thanks. It's a pleasure and an honor to host with you. And very excited to do my first sort of stream and hosting, and very excited to see the MECC International Team Finals.
Absolutely. For those of you who are just tuning into this event for the first time, this competition has had 3,272 students coming from 73 different countries and 531 universities and colleges from around the world. It's been absolutely amazing, and we're down to 3 final teams who are going to be competing here. Why don't we take a look at the teams, which universities are going to be competing and who's representing each college. So in the bottom left, we've got Curtin University from Australia, and they're represented by Philip, Adelaide, and Ryan. Today we have Ateneo de Manila from the Philippines, represented by Miguel, Jana, and Jared. And we have Inske from Madagascar, represented by Cedric, Christian, and Joy. So welcome all of you. Thank you for participating and competing. Congratulations on making it this far. All right. With that in mind, now we know who's competing. Why don't we see the case that we're going to be looking at?
Microsoft Excel Collegiate Challenge International Team Finals. We are glad to present you the case for today. Admissions Committee, created by Andrew Grigalunovich from Latvia. You were invited to help your university's admissions committee to analyze grades of the applicants to the next year's bachelor's program. The main problem with the analysis is that the applicants come from all over the world, and you need to compare their grades that are provided under different systems. There are 3 main systems used by the schools that your applicants are coming from. The grade conversion table provides you with all the necessary information on how to convert different grades used under different systems to the 100-point system used by your university. For example, an 8, a 4+, and a B+ are essentially the same marks that all equal 80 points under your university's system. Note that the grading systems might not reflect the actual grading systems used in schools around the world. Most of the questions below deal with calculating a student's GPA. GPA stands for 5 bonus questions. You can get a maximum of 2,000 points. Each team has 3 players. Before the start of the game, you should think of the best strategy how to split the tasks. Plan your strategy wisely. Good luck.
All right, so we're back, and we've seen the case video. It's always interesting to me, Tim, to see what Andrew comes up next. I mean, being a case designer myself, and I think you've also designed quite a couple of cases yourself, I always struggle to find new ideas, but Andrew just keeps knocking them out. So very interesting for me to see. It's a very simple case to understand in a sense, but once you get into the data, there's quite a couple of complex challenges a bit later on. I guess we have the point system, and we have 3 systems, 3 sort of scoring systems that allocate those points, and then the average across that determines the GPA. And I think that's as simple as it gets, but then it just gets more difficult from there. We've got 7 levels. I don't know. What did you think when you went through the case?
Yeah, so I mean, my first thought was that Andrew's done this typical fun thing where he's tried to make this really applicable to the finals, right? Who would have thought to make a college example in the college finals of the Microsoft Excel Championships? So look, I think it's a great case. I think from some of the other events that we've cast and some of the events that you've competed in, Renier, I think it's quite different in the sense that this is a team event, right? And so people are able to split up and work on different questions at the same time. And so some of these problems are kind of very well set for each team member, because there are 3 people in each team. It's well set for them to split up, tackle one question each, and then see how they go.
Yeah, it's very important because there's definitely more than half an hour's work in there. But I think if you divide and conquer effectively, there's questions that are very similar in nature, and then the tougher questions later on are also very similar in nature. So even the bonus questions, I mean, the bonus questions is interesting as well, because all the teams can actually obtain these questions or these bonus points at any point in time, and those bonus points for one answer has or allocates a lot more points. The challenge there is it might take a lot of time, and you might only get to bonus questions as well. So there's a mix of things, but it's important that you logically divide and conquer, I guess, in this case as well. Yeah.
Well, our participants should have had enough time now to read the case and get acquainted with it. Why don't we head back to them and see if they have any questions? Alrighty, so all the participants are back on screen now. Just checking in to see how you're going and whether you have any questions before we get started.
Can we get a thumbs up or a thumbs down or a...
Thumbs up?
Okay, Curtin looks good.
Mila's good.
Philippines. The Madagascar guys are still perplexed, I guess. All right. Any questions from any of the teams?
Cedric, Christian, Joy, are you okay with the question?
So I guess if we don't have any questions, we can kick them off. Hey, Tim, do you agree?
Sounds good.
Sorry, we have a question.
Oh, sorry, there is a question.
Should we round around our answers at any time, or just keep the exact value?
Sorry, it's a little bit hard to hear you. Whoever's asking the question could come a bit closer to the microphone. That'd be good.
So my question is, should we round our calculations when calculating the GPA?
No, so the answer is no, we shouldn't round answers.
And when pasting the values in the answer sheet, we pass the exact value, not any rounded.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so we don't round the calculations.
Don't round. No.
Okay.
No need to round.
Okay.
All right. So Tim, can I take the honors to get us started?
Please do.
Okay. So let's go in 3, 2, 1. Right. So now we can see all the participant screens. We can see we already have some averages coming around. When I did the case initially, I didn't read properly. I think that's one of the biggest challenges. Is reading properly and actually understanding the question before you get started, because there's sometimes a bit of a mix between the two. I don't know, Tim, how do you typically tackle these questions?
Well, I mean, to be fair, I've only ever tackled it from the safety of the commentator's box, or in the free time beforehand. So I was going to ask you a similar question, but when I try and work through these, I generally work from top to bottom. Every question that you start off with, so level 1 teaches you something about the challenge, level 2 teaches you something new about the challenge, and so on. And in general, what happens is that if you go through the questions, from start to finish, and just, don't try and jump around too much, you'll generally get a guide from how the questions are sort of teaching you how you should be approaching the the solution, because to solve levels 1 to 3 here, I'm going to sort of teach you how to look up the correct values and find them across systems 1, 2, and 3. Question 4, when they eventually get to it, will teach you how to sort of work out what to do with which students. Question 5 sort of makes it a little bit more complicated, and then question 6 and question 7 now force you to identify which systems that the grades are coming from, and it doesn't sort of feed you this is grade 1 or system 1 or this is system 2 and so on. So each step gets a little bit more complicated and teaches you a little bit more about that final sort of solution. But yeah, I love to just get straight into it. And in a case like this where the bonus questions don't matter, like when you do them, you can tackle them whenever you want. I just go straight into the main level questions, to be honest.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, level 1 to 3 is essentially the same question, just based on the 3 different systems. And what makes it easier for me, in my personal opinion, what I typically do is I use named ranges. So I haven't seen that the guys use it yet, but that helps me because then I don't need to lock down the formulas. I can see that they're doing their lookup formulas now between points and system 1, 2, and 3. If you had named ranges, it just makes it easier. You don't have to refer back to you don't have to scroll back up and down the whole time. I think what's also interesting is later on, because system I think system 2 and 3 or system 1 and 2 have similar scoring numbers. They introduce the X as well. We'll get to see that. So this to me is all about structured working with data, or working with data in a structured fashion or in a structured manner. So I think the team that would be able to do that the most effectively will be the successful team in the end. We can see that all 3 teams is currently already on 260 points, which means they've solved some of the level 1, 2, and 3 questions already. So they are doing the divide and conquer. And I mean, I can see that they're working structurally as well. They're working in steps, so with an X lookup and then an average. So it's looking good.
So I think it's actually interesting that all 3 of the teams have scored levels 1 and 2 very quickly, and then level 3 is taking them a little bit longer. Because for me, I found level 3 was essentially exactly the same as level 2. So it was interesting to see that they haven't scored the points straight away. But we can see Curtin University has taken those points. Inska has done something a bit strange. They've actually lost a few points. It'd be nice to head over to Team 3 and see what's going on and how they're trying to tackle the problem.
Yeah, it seems like they lost 7 points and got it back again. Probably a user error or something.
Fair enough. Okay, so we can see they're pasting their values in. They've been solving question 3, question 2, double checking those. I think they've just got their points for question 3. All right.
Yeah, and I see someone's on bonus. I see Cedric is on bonus question 1 as well. So I always find it valuable to at least solve 1 or 2 bonus questions, because that helps with some, especially when it comes down to the timer. It helps with we all might get stuck on level 5, and then it's helpful that I have that bonus question extra that just notches me over. All teams are equal again, so very, very interesting.
Yeah, I have to say, one of the challenges in these sorts of live Excel Esports type events is knowing when you're not going to solve a problem. And we've seen so many times in the past where people realize that they can't solve it and sort of cut their losses early. And switch to a manual approach to solving the question, switching to your round between type approaches. Or just hunting around for extra cheap marks that they wouldn't be able to get if they just sort of ran into a brick wall on a question that they can't solve. So look, that sort of self-consciousness to understand when you're stuck and when you need to move on or try something different is really critical. And I think having 3 people in the team makes that a little bit easier as well, because you can swap around questions, you can bounce ideas off each other. I think playing this as a team sort of event is really cool.
Yeah, it's excellent, and I think if a team get to know one another, they actually know who's got which strengths and weaknesses. So you can actually throw the strengths to the right people. And yeah, we can also see that there's a French Excel for Inske. So I'm very happy that my Excel is in French. I would not be able to do that, but I saw that the formulas are, well, they're still familiar, but a little bit different. So just an interesting thing to see there.
That's it.
I think I've seen German Excel as well, and that's rough.
You know, there's a funny thing about German Excel, though. Some functions actually need to be properly translated, and so you can't just open a file up in German, like an English-based Excel, open up in German Excel and have it work. I once had a client in Germany where we needed a whole set of VBA macros to convert all the formulae over into German just to make that work. So, yeah. It's pretty crazy what we have to do sometimes. So Inske's got their points for level 4, and they've done that extremely quickly. I just want to add.
Yeah, they moved really quickly. It took me longer to get there, so very, very good. So that means they're working effectively as a team, and I can also see that they're using quite a lot of the new formulas. I think what I've seen in the past on the live streams is that especially the people with a lot more experience, they tend to use the older methodologies, etc. They wouldn't necessarily jump into dynamic formulas and the new formulas, but I could see quite a couple of dynamic formulas there, spilled arrays and filter functions as well. So interesting to see that the guys are quite up to date with the newer functions as well.
I think that's going to be part and parcel of the fact that this is the new generation, right? These people who are competing right now are folks at university. In the traditional financial modeling World Cup events that we've seen in the past, we've got people who've been practicing Excel for 15, 20 years or so, and everyone's kind of stuck in their ways of doing things. I used to joke on stream that we keep seeing these VLOOKUPs coming through, and criticizing that from the back seat. These are students who have grown up in Excel where dynamic arrays is all they know, and so there's never a need to learn VLOOKUP or index match and so on. It's all the dynamic array functions all day long, and I think that's great. I think this is the fact that they're able to learn it fresh like this is absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, and talking about that, I mean, a lot of university students or college students don't have the opportunity to solve problems in Excel before they get to the actual real business world out there. So this competition really is amazing because it allows these participants to, in a fun way, learn how to use Excel effectively under pressure, and that is so useful when you get to a professional career. So I think it's excellent having these competitions, and I just wish more students could participate. So even in South Africa, I've been trying to push it to the students to say, listen, guys, it's free. You're going to learn a lot. It makes you more marketable. You can put it on your resumes. It's a win-win for these guys. So pretty amazing.
All right. So watching what we're seeing on screen right now, Miguel is, I believe, acting on question number 6. So that tells me that Manila has scored points for question 4 as well. It does seem like everyone tackled questions 1, 2, and 3 in their team. So each person took on one question, and then it seems like a lot of the teams have split questions 4, 5, and 6 up as well. It seems that everyone's managed to complete level 4, so that's good. So the thing that confuses me here, and I'm wondering whether this is actually going to set them back in some ways. I mentioned before that we learn from some of the earlier steps, and so I'm wondering if not having completed levels 4 and level 5 and trying to tackle level 6 straight away means that they're going to be a little bit disadvantaged in how they approach it. Whether they're going to need to sort of talk to their colleagues, in the real world and try and find out, well, how did you solve that so I can use this in my answer.
Yeah, look, I think it's helpful that these guys are in the same room, because the way that level, let me just see, level 6 and 7, for instance, is attempted is a lot more different. Level 4 and 5 is similar, but level 4, the student numbers change from level 4 to level 5. So that makes it difficult because you can't necessarily just build one model. You use the same principles, but for the students in level 4, for instance, because you have five different scores from each student, or 5 different subjects. You can actually use something like a wrap rows or a wrap columns function and structure it that way. But when it comes to level 5, you have differing numbers of subjects coming through. So level 4 and level 5 would need to speak to one another, because they would have similar ways of figuring it out on 2 different point systems. But the number of student, or the number of scores per student, makes it difficult. And then 6 and 7 would need to talk to one another, because there it's very similar as well, because there you would need to split the text up. So interesting. Yeah.
So I'm looking at what Jared is doing. Jared's taking a look at question 7, it seems. And what he did at the very top of the screen, you'll see he's got a second set of grade conversions here. And you mentioned the X's before about System 2 having something to distinguish between System 1, which is straight up numeric, and System 2, which is sort of a mix of numeric and then a plus and a minus. So what I believe he's done, he's just created this table as a side table to look at specifically for questions 6 and 7. And then he's identified those cells that are purely numeric in System 2, and just added an X to the back end of them. And to be honest, I think that's really clever. A lot of people who come through here will get carried away with this idea that, oh, we've got to do everything with formulae, we've got to calculate everything, otherwise we're not doing it right. But often it's actually easier just to do a really quick hack. If it's going to take you 5 seconds to update a table with a bunch of text, or it's going to take you 50 seconds to try and build a formula to get it to work, I'll take the 5 seconds any day.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, lookup tables in the end is a lot more powerful, and I see that what he's trying to do here is to try and put one column with the points running down. So that there's one lookup and one one return array, essentially. But yeah, lookup tables make life easier, and especially with this, because the challenge with this is converting between text and number, and knowing when to actually convert. So if I do a substitute of the X, so I could, for instance, identify that I'm working with System 2, it's got the X. But now, if I take the X away, I'm left with a number. But that number needs to be converted into a number first. But some of them might not only be numbers, and if I try and convert that to a number, I'm going to get a value error. So conversion in formula is also difficult. To apply the same rule set to all 3, I'd rather just fix the lookup table in the front. Definitely a better way to do it.
We can see Jared's running into that exact problem right now. I think he's trying to find the number 7 in this list, and he's seeing the number 7. It's right there. He thinks he should get a 70 out of it. But the challenge is that it's one is text and one is numeric, right? He's extracted the 7 from the list of inputs, so that'll be a text. The result, the lookup table is numeric. And if it were me, I would take that lookup table and quickly convert that to text in some way. You can see, I think he has done that. He's switching it to text and making it easy to find. Let's see. He's trying to test some things.
No, I think he's editing it so that Excel converts each one of them into text now. Because he's put a little single quote in front of the numbers to make them look like text, but that's also not going to work. So there are methods of doing this, but this is when you bleed minutes, I guess, when you need to do something like that manually. So yeah, that was also, when I tried the case, that was also not my biggest struggle was working with numbers and text and when to switch, etc. I think the principle of doing the substitution of the X in the lookup table is the best way, because then you should just be able to do a straight lookup. But even better, Tim, I think what works the best for me in this case is to remove as much fluff as possible, and I've seen Dermot do that quite a lot, where we've got 2 or 3 characters inside that. Try and make it one character, right? So you could potentially replace everything across the cases with A, B's, and C's, or 1, 2s, and 3s, for instance, that you look at one character across all 3 systems, and you basically convert that. Could be risky when you get to level 7, for instance, but where everything is mixed up. But if you keep track of things and you have a lookup table with replaced values, that might actually be an even easier way to do it. But hindsight is an exact science, I guess, as well, right?
Indeed, indeed. Let's take a look back at Inske, because I think they have scored points to level 5, and then I saw them briefly up at 940 points as well, which makes me think that they solved one of the bonus questions, but they're back down to 840 again. So we can take a look at Inske's team setup, and maybe we can find out who's working on the bonus questions and who's working on the main round questions. And if that's not working, maybe we can check out Curtin University instead, because we haven't looked at their screens for a while. Also want to take a point that you were saying about Diarmid. Not everyone has 20 years experience, and they're not necessarily going to have the same sort of skills that someone like Diarmid early is going to have. We are talking about folks who are in university here, so anything that they are putting together, to be honest, is pretty impressive straight away. So I know I certainly wasn't able to do this back in university.
No, neither was I. I mean, that is true. It's very, very interesting. And to me, I mean, if I just look at this formula that they're currently working on, it's a pretty complex formula. It's filters with multiplication and zeros and ones. I mean, it's very impressive to just put this together. And I mean, this is computer programming. And I mean, I've heard people say that Excel is the widest used programming language in the world. And if I look at this, I mean, we're working with binaries. We're doing a comparison with an indirect formula. Being able to do that as a university student or a college student is absolutely amazing. These guys are truly amazing. I see, Tim, I see Inske has gotten bonus question 3. So they've got their 940. So they're in a good lead. But Curtin is also fighting hard. I mean, they're 100 points behind, so they could easily catch up still.
So let's take a look at Curtin University then. Let's see what they're doing, how they're trying to tackle this, because I suspect that they're probably going to get stuck a little bit on questions 6 and 7, similar to Inske. And so I hope one of these guys is working on the bonus question in order to try and catch up those few points. Rene, you were saying at the very beginning that if you get caught up in the questions, you forget to go back to the bonus questions, right?
Yeah.
Oh, we can see them. No, he's looking at the conversion table. I was hoping he was looking at the bonuses.
Yeah, so I've looked at these bonus questions, and some of them are actually very simple to solve, and you can do them in a couple of minutes if you know how to work with the data structurally. And I mean, with the new dynamic formulas, with the new 2-col formulas, etc., you could easily copy across all of the data from levels 1 to 5 and levels 1 to 7, and quickly put that in one column and then do a sum if or a count if or something like that on it. So it's something you could quickly and easily do. But as you also said, you'd need a bit of experience to know how to do that and how to manage this under time pressure.
I was about to joke. I wonder if they can hear us, because they are looking at the bonus questions right now. So we saw a count if on the screen before, counting if something was greater than 65, which I think is trying to answer bonus question number 1. My guess is that they're probably splitting up now and realizing that they're not going to be able to compete on questions 6 and 7, and so now they're going to try and tackle the bonus questions.
That's a good decision. I think questions 6 and 7 requires at least 6 or 7 minutes to do each. So when you've got 9 minutes left, I think you can easily get 2 or 3 bonus questions in 9 minutes, where you can't necessarily do question 6. If you solve question 6 or 7, I think you get a lot more points than the bonus questions. Oh, there I see Inske just got another. Maybe it's a bonus question that they got there, so they're looking good. But I mean, looking at what we can see on the screen, it looks really structured. It looks like color coding and and it's structured, but sometimes working with these large data sets that cuts across multiple screens can also create a struggle.
So I've just had word from the organizers that Inkscape have managed to solve half of level 6, not all of it. They've got some of the points, which is why we've got something that's not ending in a 0 here. But to your point about how many points you get if you manage to solve level 6 and 7, level 6 is worth 240 points. Level 7 is worth 450 points if you can get that working. But if you can solve all 5 bonus questions, that's actually 470 points. So certainly solving just a few of them will get you ahead of what you would earn if you manage to finish level 6. And even if you were to sort of spend all your time and manage to solve level 7 in its completion, the bonus questions themselves will still actually outweigh level 7. So it's definitely worthwhile at least allocating one person to take a look at that. Speaking of one person, we haven't taken a look at Jana's screen from Manila. So we should probably go see what the Manila team are doing. They're still stuck on level 4. Well, they finished level 4 and they're stuck on 5, 6, 7. I wonder if they are now moving over to the bonus questions as well.
We're looking at Jana's screen now, I see.
Yep. So this, I think, is level 5, I believe.
Yeah. Could be level 4 or 5, I believe.
Yeah, so I mean, I think I've completed 4, so they'll probably be working on 5. Right. And I think this goes back to that point. If Jana wasn't the one who actually solved level 4, then there may be some insights that she really needs to be getting from her teammates about how to tackle this question. Because you sort of learn how to solve this in level 4, and if you're trying to tackle it from scratch, it might be a little bit harder to get it across the line. Okay, let's zoom out and take a look at what the rest of Manila is doing. So if Jana's working on question 5, I'm assuming then that the other 2 team members, Miguel and Jared, are going to be working each on question 6 and question 7. You can see them. It looks like Miguel is working on question 6.
Right.
And I'm not sure if Jared is working on question 7. I can't quite see. Maybe we can zoom into Jared's screen and find out what he's doing. All right. So yeah, my guess is that he is working on question 7. So Manila are going all in on the actual questions themselves. If they can solve all of the questions, so all the levels that we have here, that's actually worth a lot of points. Unlike the normal esports events that we have, where all the points add up to 1,000, there are 1,530 points that are available if you can answer all 7 levels. So they can very easily catch up to Inkscape if they are able to solve these.
And I mean, sorry, we've seen before how a lot of these points are actually scored in the last minute or the last couple of seconds. So I mean, if you look at, I mean, there you could see Manila just overtook Curtin University. So if they can solve level 7 in the last 10 seconds, they could top out Inkscape with a 450 points. So I can see that Jared is busy with question 7, and it seems like he is quite far along. So there is a good chance that he could actually get there in the next 5 minutes. And if he does, he can actually potentially cause his team to just edge out. That would be one of the biggest comebacks in MECC history, I guess.
Well, if we can head over to Miguel, I believe Miguel is the one who solved question 6. I'm curious to see, is he now turning his attention to the bonus questions? Because if he is, then that'd be, I think, a really good use of his time. If he's instead trying to help one of his teammates solve question 7 or question 5, I think it might not be enough points to be able to catch up on the lead that Inkscape has.
Yeah. I think Miguel was just looking at 7 for a second there, but he's now scrolling around, so potentially just trying to understand. It doesn't look like he's busy doing bonus questions though.
So I think what's happened, I saw on the camera, I think Jana turned around and asked Miguel for a bit of a help on something, which is probably why he's turned his attention to level 5.
Gotcha.
Although, take a look at the scores now. I believe that
Wow.
Jared has managed to solve level 7, or a lot of level 7. Not all of it, not
No,
all
some
of
of
it, but the majority of it. And
But
enough to get
exactly
ahead.
what I said. Exactly what I said happened. Hey, Manila was behind, and now they're well ahead. This is interesting things. I'm very, very impressed by the
There
team
you
from the
go.
Philippines. Very, very impressed. And I mean, if I look at Inskay, they've got a lot of experience in this competition. I think they've been participating since the start, and I think they were also the winners last year, if I'm not mistaken. So they are definitely professional competitors now. When I look at the MECC competition, but yeah, first time I've seen the Manila team, but they are doing really well. So let's hope they could hold on to their lead for the next 3 minutes. There's 3 minutes. A lot can happen in 3 minutes as well, especially if the teams are. Maybe we should go back to Inskate to see if they're close to an answer on one of the levels.
That's right. I believe so. Inskate, if I remember correctly, they had solved a lot of level 5. Yes, they'd solved level 5. They seem to have solved level 6 now as well, I believe.
Yeah.
So they're probably also going to be looking at a mix of the bonus questions and trying to solve that level 7. However, Manila seemed to have. So Manila had a score of 1500 and something, and is back down to 1295 again. So they look like they're experimenting with a couple of things. But if they're able to score 1500 points, I think even if Inskate solve level 7, they're not going to be able to catch up.
Yeah.
So why don't we head into Joy's screen? Because I can see Joy's doing a bicol lambda. Oh, it's using the bicol function here, and requires you to use a lambda. Oops, I think we've lost Joy's stream for a little bit. That's all right. So yeah, so we're looking at level 7 here. Joy has the task of trying to score 470 points to catch up. They've got half of level 6 done. They've got all of level 5. But 470 points would not go amiss. That would be just enough to get ahead of Manila if they can do it in 1 minute and 20 seconds.
Manila got level 5 now, so Ateneo de Manila has I believe 97% of level 7, and they've got level 5, so they're very close to maximum points at this stage. But yeah, very interesting to see the bicol lambda functions. You have to be confident to actually be able to use this. So yeah, Ateneo hasn't scored any bonus questions apparently. But they almost have full marks across the 7 levels. I think might just be enough to actually get them ahead. But let's hope that Joy can do something in the next couple of seconds, I guess.
That's right. I mean, if Joy can score this, they will finish 3 points ahead of Ateneo de Manila. But I suspect, based on where Joy is at in the process, might not be enough, unfortunately.
Yeah, that would be sad, because seeing them beat them by 3 points would be absolutely amazing.
So we've got 10 seconds left, I guess. With 3, 2, 1. And I think that will be time. So, with an amazing score of 1,515 points, Ateneo de Manila has scored 100% in levels 1 through to 6, and was only let down by, I'm guessing, 1 question in like one of the examples in level 7, which is absolutely amazing. Inskay has scored 100% on levels 1 to 5, made it halfway through level 6. Curtin University did something quite similar, where they made it about a quarter of the way through level 6. But an amazing effort from everybody involved.
Yeah, I must say, looking at the case myself beforehand, I didn't expect the points to be this high. So all 3 teams actually did really well, in my opinion, and that the team from the Philippines actually edged out, almost getting a full score on on level. Well, they just needed 15 more points, I believe. So one more question, like you said, Tim, on level 7 to get a full marks. That is absolutely amazing. So well done to the guys from the Philippines. And Inske, I mean, you guys really kept the lead there for a while, but the team from Manila, they just kept solving the questions and kept going up. They were sitting on 620 for quite some time, and then moved above Curtin, and then edged out to almost a perfect score. So maybe we can go back to the contestants. Oh yeah, I see also that Inske is the only team that solved a bonus question 3. So maybe we can hear from the teams now.
Yep. So Miguel, Jana, Jared, congratulations on taking out the win.
Thank you.
Just want to say, it was from the commentary seat. It looked like a very excellent teamwork. I saw you guys solved question level 6 before you solved level 5. The camera turning around to work out how you trying to get a bit of advice as to how to solve question 5.
On answering question 5, well, we split up the questions. So Migs was answering level 6 and I was answering level 5. And then so we were solving on our own time. So Migs just solved level 6 faster, and I was able to solve level 5.
But it was great that you were able to help each other out. You can see them turning their attention to try and help you solve things, and the scores shot up very quickly after that point. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Bad Luck, you guys had the lead for the better part of 25 minutes or something, I think. And you were the only ones to solve one of the bonus questions. How did you feel you went overall?
So we were feeling a bit frustrated when during the entire game we were kind of confident when we saw that we were leading during the major parts of the game, but when we saw Tinio taking the lead in the last minute, it was very frustrating, and we were kind of panicked, and I was stuck at solving the level 7 when I tried to dispatch the three different systems, and the functions that I used were a bit messy there, and too bad.
Can I ask, how close were you to finishing level 7? Because I'm not sure if you're aware, if you completed level 7 and got all the points, you would actually have finished 3 points ahead of Ateneo de Manila.
Oh. I just finished rearranging my formulas, and I was up to use data table to fill the other answers, but too bad that they didn't finish it at.
Oh, bad luck. I'm sorry to hear it. But a very good effort from all 3 of you. Congratulations for doing that. The folks at Curtin University. How did you feel you guys went?
Yeah, it was all right. I think we had a bit of we started off kind of well, I think, splitting up the work, and then I think just question 6 and 7 ran into a bit of trouble there. We didn't really get together a solution. I kind of just there was question 6. For some of the systems it was very easy to solve, so I just manually did those. But yeah, would have liked to do a bit better, but I think under the conditions, I think we did pretty well. Going against 2 very good universities, so ended up coming last. But yeah, I think we're pretty happy with how we did.
Yeah, I think it's good experience as well, and I think you guys did well. I think jumping to a manual solve is a clever resolution, especially when you've got a couple of minutes to go, and yeah, I just wanted to ask, besides I believe Inske who did one of the bonus questions. Curtin, did you guys attempt the bonus questions? Did you even look at the bonus questions? Tim and I were wondering about that.
Yeah, so two of us tried the bonus question 1, and we weren't too sure if the scores were updating because I thought we got the answer, but we must not have got it correct. So we definitely tried the first one. Two of us thought that we got it and it was pretty easy, but yeah, we must have done something wrong. Number 2, I personally tried it for a little bit, and then I realized, it was across all 7 levels. And so after that point, I just went back to solving the main question. So we did try 1 and 2. I don't know if you guys tried the other ones.
Some of the other ones, I think you have to do the rest of it. So.
Yeah, so we just tried 1 and 2. So I gave up pretty quickly. 1, we thought we had the answer, but apparently we don't. So yeah, that was all we tried for the bonus questions.
Fair enough. Well, gents, you've said that you've come last, but realistically, you've come third in this entire Microsoft Excel Collegiate Challenge. So don't put yourself down. You've done a great effort to get here at all in the first place. So congratulations for putting up a good fight.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, well done. Like I said, for all three results are actually quite amazing. The scores to be able to do that much work in 30 minutes time, and yeah, the team finals, the international team finals winners gets $1,500. So we've already lost the video feed from Ateneo de Manila. It seems like they've already went to celebrate. They logged off and ran for the celebrations, I guess.
That's it. Well, speaking of running off, it's time for us to disappear as well. So thank you everyone who's watching. Thank you for joining us today. If you're still around tomorrow, on December the 2nd, we have the in-person finals. Those in-person finals are going to be essentially the US-based MECC teams, as well as the individual finals as well. So do check that out. If you want to know where that's being streamed, it's probably where you're watching this right now as well, but it's on youtube.com/@mecc.college. So make sure you tune in. It's going to be at 2:45 p.m. Arizona time, which is where they are competing. All right, Rainier, is there anything else you want to say before we drop off?
No, I just wanted to thank you, Tim. Thank you for being my co-host today. It was wonderful hosting with you, and yeah, it was just amazing to see college students compete at such a high level, at such pace, under pressure. Absolutely amazing, and it's a privilege to have been hosting with you and to have seen this excellent competition. And very excited to see what happens in the individual competitions on December 2nd as well.
That's right. No, it's been my pleasure. Thank you for hosting with me, and thank you to the Financial Modeling World Cup team and the Ella College of Management team at the University of Arizona for putting on the Microsoft Excel Collegiate Challenge. It's been a great year and a great set of performances, and we look forward to seeing the overall finals tomorrow. So thank you very much, everybody, and we look forward to seeing you next time.